Hello, little Timmies. And today I'm going to be grading every trade from the trade deadline. The trade deadline ended yesterday, so I'm going to be talking about all the trades. So the first trade that I'm going to be talking about was James Harden traded to the Philadelphia 76ers for Ben Simmons. And this one was probably the biggest trade. It'll be like from biggest to like least biggest, I guess. Sorry. My English is not too good today. And then I'll tell you the full trade. So the Brooklyn Nets gave up James Harden and Paul Millsap for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, a 2022 first-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick, and they would probably be like 2 seconds because they're both their picks, and the Philadelphia 76 is going to be really good now. So they're basically like early second-round picks. They're going to be late first round, though. So this trade, for this one, I would give it like a B+ for both sides. I really like this trade for the Nets just because Harden wanted to leave, and they got a player in Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons can't shoot, so they added Seth Curry. And with Seth Curry, he can shoot, and it'd be a nice player to have, even starting, just for the shooting. But because they also have a guy like Joe Harris, but he's injured. And I could see a lineup of like Kyrie at the point guard, Seth Curry shooting guard. They could do Kevin Durant would be small forward or power forward. Ben Simmons would be somewhere in there. They just acquired Andre Drummond, but I think they would want to have someone who could stretch the floor at center, like so that Ben Simmons can operate down low, because it was kind of hard with him and Joel Embiid for him to operate down low. So I think that it would just be easier if they had a center who could just shoot the three and stay out of the paint. But a B+ overall. I would say honestly an A for the Sixers, because they were able to get a really good star for Ben Simmons. When before they got offered up like Malcolm Brogdon, and they're trying to get CJ McCollum, but they ended up getting James Harden, which I think is really good. And then the Nets, I would probably give this a B+, because it's a really good trade. It sucks that you have to get rid of Harden because he was supposed to be like really good and stuff, but what they got back for him was really good, so I think that makes up for it. And then the second trade was Kristaps Porzingis and a second-round pick for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. And with this one, I don't really think it's a good trade. Like, if we're being honest, I don't really understand why the Mavericks did this. Because they got Davis Bertans, who hasn't really been playing good, but is meant to be a good three-point shooter. And then Spencer Dinwiddie, they have Jalen Brunson. So they're either going to trade Spencer Dinwiddie or Jalen Brunson. And then they basically just gave up Kristaps Porzingis. I thought that they should have added a third star along with Kristaps Porzingis. So I don't know why they did this. So I think for the Mavericks, this one's like a D, honestly. And for the Wizards, it's an A. It's an A. Because they got a second-round pick. They gave up Spencer Dinwiddie, who hasn't really been playing good this season, and Davis Bertans, who also hasn't been playing good this season and is overpaid. And they just get Kristaps Porzingis. So, yeah. Overall, I give it a B trade. And then the next one that I'll be talking about is Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell was traded to the Charlotte Hornets for only Ish Smith and Vernon Carey Jr. And with this one, I thought Harrell's value would be a lot better than just Ish Smith and Vernon Carey Jr. At least a pick or something. But for the Hornets, I honestly give this an A, because I think what they were missing was a center, and they solved that problem with Montrezl Harrell, so they don't have to run Mason Plumlee at starting center anymore. And then for the Wizards, I give it like a C+. Because Ish Smith and Vernon Carey Jr. it's all right to get back, but you can see that the direction that the Wizards are going, that they traded Montrezl Harrell and Spencer Dinwiddie and stuff. And the Montrezl Harrell trade happened before the Kristaps one, so they traded Montrezl Harrell and replaced him with a Kristaps. So I think this was just to fill up cap space for him. And then on to the next trade. It was Derek White from the San Antonio Spurs was traded to the Boston Celtics for Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, and a 2022 first-round pick. And with this one, I like it for the Celtics a lot. I would give it like B+ to A-, because Derek White, he can shoot. Josh Richardson hasn't really been playing that well. Romeo Langford is just a young guy, which Celtics don't need. And then a first, it might have been a bit of an overpay for Derek White, but honestly, the Celtics, I think, are desperate at this point to try to be contending. And I think this could help them with that. I was going to post a video today on a Bradley Beal trade, and that was going to be between the Celtics for Bradley Beal, because I knew the Wizards were going to make a bunch of trades, and they were not going to try. They were going to make a bunch of trades, and then they could possibly trade Bradley Beal because he's going to be out for the season. So I made a video about that, but I'm not going to post that anymore because I didn't get it out in time, and the trade deadline happened, and he didn't get traded. So, yeah. Celtics, I give this a B+. And for the Spurs, I give it a B, because they got a first-round pick out of Derek White, and then a young guy in Romeo Langford, and Josh Richardson, who is just all right. And then the fifth trade was Marvin Bagley III from the Sacramento Kings, was traded to the Detroit Pistons. And this might get confusing because it was a 4-team trade. So the Sacramento Kings got Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, and Trey Lyles. The Milwaukee Bucks got Serge Ibaka, a 2022 second-round pick, and a 2024 second-round pick. The Clippers got Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye. And then the Detroit Pistons got Marvin Bagley III. For the Pistons, I give this a B. They got a young guy and didn't really have to give him that much for him. And the Clippers, they gave up Serge Ibaka. And I don't really think they needed to do that because they only got Rodney Hood. So I give this for them a C+. And then for the Bucks, getting Serge Ibaka, I give that an A. And then for the Sacramento Kings, getting Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Jackson out of Marvin Bagley, who hasn't really been playing good, I give that an A-, because Dante DiVincenzo's been playing really good. Okay, so that whole trade overall, I give it an A overall, just because it's cool to see a 4-team trade that looks like it benefits basically everyone. And then this is where the trades start to get not as exciting. So this is probably one of the last ones I want to talk about because this video is getting a bit long. And it was Tory Craig traded to the Phoenix Suns for Jalen Smith. The Suns also gave up a second-round pick. They get Tory Craig back. Jalen Smith was a rookie, so good deal for both teams. And then Bol was traded to the Orlando Magic, which I think is very good for Bol. He's on a team that's rebuilding, so that's nice. And then Dennis Schroeder was traded to the Houston Rockets. Bruno Fernando and Enes Freedom were included in that trade. The Celtics got Daniel Tice back, but we know they did that for money reasons. And Houston, it doesn't really make much sense to do this because it's not like they're going to trade Dennis Schroeder because of the trade deadline. And, yeah, that's all the trades that I'm going to talk about. The other ones I'll go over. Thaddeus Young got traded to the Raptors for Goran Dragic. Aaron Holiday got traded to the Phoenix Suns for just cash. And another trade that happened earlier, Domantas Sabonis traded for Tyrese Halliburton. Norman Powell got traded to the Clippers. I made a video on that. And CJ McCollum got traded to New Orleans. And that was really all the major moves. And then the Portland Trailblazers got Joe Ingles and gave up Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the Jazz. And yeah, that's really all the trades. This trade deadline was really exciting. I think there was a lot of good trades that benefited both teams. There weren't really that many where it was like, oh, that was a horrible trade for one side. But yeah, I was really expecting the Golden State Warriors to do something with the young guys, but I guess they're not. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.